Come, take a journey with us up the Paulins Kill River. Often called a little unsubstantial river, its importance to the people of the watershed could not be larger. It's not the mighty Mississippi or the wild and adventurous Colorado. It's a gentle, calm river that has enriched the lives of the people of Sussex and Warren counties for centuries. The river has many stories to share with us. The unseen story of its birth from the melting Wisconsin glacier. The saga of man's journey through time in the valley, from the hunter of woolly mammoths to modern man. The tragic tale of the collision of the Native American culture with European colonial expansion. And hopefully, we can add the story to tell our grandchildren of how we came together and conserved the riches of the Paulins Kill. Our story starts with more than a river. It must include the entire watershed. One cannot be considered without the other. Unlike the sandy coastal plain of southern New Jersey, the watershed valley of the Paulins Kill has ridges with elevation and flat floodplains of forests and fields. Covering 177 square miles, the watershed makes up most of the ridge and valley physiographic province of the state. The river begins in Sussex County around Newton. First flows north, then west, then changes direction once again to flow southwest for a total of 41 miles until it empties into the Lower Delaware Wild and Scenic River. The northern boundary of the watershed is a collection of gentle hills in Branchville, Frankfort, Lafayette, and Sparta townships. Deposited by the retreating glaciers thousands of years ago, these hills shed water north to the Wallkill River, which flows eventually into the Hudson River, and south to the Paulins Kill River. The watershed's western boundary is mostly publicly owned forest and parkland. These forests have not been extensively disturbed for nearly 100 years. Mature growth forests are critical to the capture and slow release of rainwater to the river. Tributaries flowing to the Paulins Kill are cool, clean, and crystal clear, often supporting trout. Many rare and endangered species are making their last stand here in the forests of the northwest corner of New Jersey. Home to an abundance of wildlife and varied plant communities, an increasing number of visitors are often rewarded by the sighting of black bears, wild turkeys, bald eagles, and occasionally the bobcat. The eastern boundary of the watershed is also special, seen here far in the distance. The New Jersey highlands are unique to New Jersey, indeed to the world. Today, the highlands are recognized as the freshwater reservoir for suburban and urban New Jersey. The highlands have legislated special protections mitigating overdevelopment and resource exploitation. But this is another story for another time. Bounded by hills on three sides, the watershed is almost completely self-contained. We have a bounty of clean water. Most streams feeding the river from all sides are designated as C1 trout production tributaries, one of the highest state water quality ratings. There is little degraded or polluted water being sent downstream by others. The future of the Paulins Kill will be decided by us. The choices we make as a community will determine its future. But enough about the watershed. What about the water? We must think of the currency of any watershed is its water. Where are water deposits being made? Who's making withdrawals? Is it overdrawn or happily functioning with a surplus? Is there a plan to ensure its viability? Or are we destined to follow the Colorado River watershed where, no matter what actions are taken, the watershed faces inevitable bankruptcy? What does our balance sheet predict for the future? Do we even have an integrated plan to get through the coming critical times of continued climate change? What attitudes, values, and knowledge must be brought to bear to precipitate action that will write today's story? What do we need to understand about the watershed's wetlands? Are they swamps, marshes, bogs, moors, fens, or lakes or rivers? Or do we have all of these different water resources to understand and consider? This is not flyover country, but it is certainly drive-over country. Most of us pass by or over elements of the watershed every day and never note nor understand their interconnectedness. 95% of the valley residents depend on well water from the ground for their drinking water. Do we even know anything about our below-ground aquifer, bedrock that delivers cool, clean water to our faucets, is easily destroyed by ignorance and apathy? The unseen underground river of the watershed is out of sight and out of mind, till we can no longer drink it. Can we search our agricultural past for inspiration while we design our communities? Is there an economically viable pathway to support and return to small, homestead-style farming? Can we quench our thirst and satisfy our hunger, implementing restorative farming practices that return carbon to the soil instead of fueling climate change by stripping our soils of carbon and other nutrients? Do we welcome the urban and suburban sprawl typical of New Jersey to our towns and villages? Do we write ordinances that only support business development, or do we insist on considering the consequences from different viewpoints before adopting the rules our communities live by? Let's commit to undoing the damage of the past, removing dangerous and useless dams. Let's restore our wetlands to their natural state. For years, draining a swamp was never considered to have consequences other than enhancing development benefits. Let's wage war on the epidemic of invasive species destroying land and water. Most important, let's teach our children and our families to enjoy and nurture the beauties of our homeland. Let's give them meaningful outdoor adventures that help tie them to the land. Let's replace their phones with fishing rods, bicycles, and hiking boots. Let's encourage families to experience the real world with joyful activities. And above all, let's train and deploy a cadre of river watchers, actively collecting data to build an undisputed body of knowledge to guide us with what we should do and must do to conserve what we have now. So join us on our upstream journey. Come and participate.